Coming in at number 10, we have creepy singing. All right, let's start off with something very ominous. To be honest, this might be nothing, but for some reason, this sent a chill down my spine. The YouTuber Cuban Guy ordered a mystery box off the dark web, and instead of getting something that could have been a knife, or a head, or Spice Girls the movie on Laserdisc, he got a cassette tape, and actually a pretty nice pair of headphones. Actually, those might have been his. He wasn't sure what could be on the tape, so with bated breath, he gave it a listen, and then the secret was unveiled. It was just a lady singing. That is kind of a letdown. Well, not really. I can't tell what the woman is saying because it is in a language that I do not speak, and Cuban Guy doesn't have any answers either. Some people in the comments think that it could have been a simple lullaby, while other people think it was more akin to the tape recording from the movie Evil Dead. You know, the one that summons an evil force from the Necronomicon that slowly but surely kills everyone in a cabin? Yeah, let's hope it was the latter and move on to the next point. Coming at number 9, we have a chained up plastic box. The group Abandoned Exploration Squad managed to get their hands on a mystery box, and the contents looked like it was previously owned by a demonic child who used these toys to act out some pretty sick fantasies. First, they had to open the box, which was chained shut. They had to use power tools just to slice this box open. Once it was open, there was a bunch of toys in there that were mutilated, and some of them looked like they had blood splatter on them. There was also some tangled tapes in there and an alarming amount of knives. Maybe this was all just someone's garbage that they threw together because it all looked creepy, but I'm still curious to know what was on those tapes. If they could get untangled, it might give some clues as to what was going on inside that creepy box of junk. Coming at number 8, we have WizKid. Here's something about a mystery box. You have no idea what is going to be in there. Duh, that's why it's called a mystery box. Well, maybe before you reach into the box that you bought off the dark web, you should look into it, because the YouTuber goes by the name Namebrand decided that he would reach into this mystery box before he gave it the full inspection, and it turns out the box had a container of pee in it. Well, good thing he had gloves on, right? This mystery box sounds like those Harry Potter jelly bellies that had nasty flavors in them, like some were apple cinnamon but others were like cow farts. That's what this box is. You think you're gonna get a spooky surprise, and then someone just pees in your hand. Yay, the internet. Coming in at number 7, we have hidden gems. I dug deep to find this mystery box, and honestly, if I could prove that it was real, it would be at number 1. You can't see who is opening the mystery box. They don't speak in the video. There's just a POV shot of them opening the box. It seems like a normal cardboard box, and then inside is an old digital camera that has some duct tape over it. The person who's opening the box takes out the camera and then it just starts up. Maybe it's a model of camera that's like motion activated or something, similar to the way your iPhone will start up if you move it. Whatever the reason, it's very creepy. The camera has enough charge to play a video, and I can't tell if this video is real. I'm really hoping that it's staged, but I think it's better if I just show you what was on the tape rather than describe it. Ah, that is amazing. I have to say, when I was watching the video, I was actually legit scared. And then I got rickrolled perfectly. God, that is such a good prank. All right, on to the next video. Coming at number 6, we have spooky medical supplies. Now this one looks like someone really trying hard to make something scary, and I'll give it to them. They really tried. That guy, Aaron, went to the trouble of getting a mystery box off the dark web, and the contents seem to be sinister. There's some zip ties in there, rubber gloves, a hand-powered drill, and clamps, along with some homemade video of a lady talking to the camera while she's in a park. The whole thing implies that this lady had some sort of horrible surgery done to her against her will, but after watching the video a few times, I think that this one is a hoax. Everything is just way too clean. The video could have simply been taken off the internet, but I still think the box gave off a very creepy vibe, so I'm gonna give it an A for effort. Coming in at number 5, we have the $10,000 box. This one was Ahmed Mo's TV's purchase. Now, did it actually cost $10,000? We'll probably never know, but the contents were kinda cool. There was what looked to be a Rorschach painting made out of someone's blood. There was a reflective vest that had some blood on it, and then a spray bottle filled with blood. But what's serious, and this box was packed full of serious content. First, we have a bunch of toilet paper that was unraveled and hopefully unused. Then there was some unmarked meds. This could have been anything from Tylenol to oxycodone. Following that, there was a couple of vials of blood. You know, your casual box of blood that you shouldn't be worried about. It's fine. What could be suspicious about a few vials of blood that you bought online? And that wasn't even the worst part. There was a hair-covered syringe in the box that poked through Ali's glove and stabbed him right in the finger. As far as I know, this dude is still alive, so it seems that this mystery syringe didn't have a mystery virus embedded in it. And coming in at the number 1 spot, we have 5 times the fun. Why just get 1 box when you can get 5? If you really want to max out the potential from this crazy mystery box thing, just go all in and see what comes out on the other side. YouTuber Killam decided this was the best course of action, which seems like a pretty good idea. I mean, what if you got one and there was nothing good in it? Well, he invested $2,500 on mystery boxes, and then when it came to his house, he was not lacking at things to look at. There was some used underwear in one. Is that how much you can sell your underwear for? And I've just been throwing mine away. There was also a bottle of mystery pills that were stuffed inside a teddy bear that was stuffed inside 2 other teddy bears. Not to mention, there was a children's book that had some satanic symbols stuffed inside it, some witchcraft, perverted objects, illegal drugs. That's the holy trinity of mystery boxes. Oh, and there was way more stuff. I just don't have time to fit it all into this video.
Number 10, tricky smugglers. One of the biggest uses of the dark web is as a black market. There are sites that allow you to buy anything and everything, and unfortunately I do mean anything. But when it comes to buying illicit substances off the internet, some sellers have been extremely creative about their delivery methods. A few Reddit users discussing this told some stories of the most interesting and innocuous packaging they have seen. One user said that they constantly received junk brochures in the mail for cruises, zoos, all sorts of things, and thought nothing of it until they saw their roommate cutting into one to retrieve a bag of powder. Or there was allegedly a comic book seller whose entire back cover was a sheet of dissolvable hallucinogens. Another had seen a collectible Pez dispenser, still appearing to be factory sealed, arriving already filled with pills, not candy. I had a Buzz Lightyear one back in the day, but it never had anything like that in it. So be careful out there, folks. Number 9, we see you. This story comes from a user of the early internet, before Google, an ancient history for some of you, I'm sure. This web-savvy individual often found themselves roaming around random dark web chat sites and found one with some cryptic comments, like people passing notes. Hidden in a JavaScript comment, he found various IP addresses, which is a device or router's unique address. He decided to browse through some of these for fun. We have different ideas of fun, I guess. And he found some of them belonged to servers with little to no security. Not planning on doing anything nefarious, just window shopping, he was flipping through one that seemed to have a lot of files of various sizes, mostly images of faxes, financial documents, and even some medical records. But after a while, a new file appeared, titled "Hello There." When he opened it, it was a simple text file with one line written, "We see you." About 15 seconds after opening it, the server went down. Something like that would make me not want to internet for a long while. Just don't go poking through people's stuff. It's that easy. Number 8, your wish is my command. This story was told as a first-hand account from someone who has allegedly been in a psychiatric hospital since it happened. When he was younger, a rumor went around his school that there was a website on the dark web that could grant almost any wish you wanted, for a price. All you had to do was solve a cryptic puzzle. They don't go into detail about what it was or how they solved it, but it was hard enough that none of their friends did. When they got in, there was a simple form that you had to fill out for some personal information, and then a box where you entered your wish. Obviously, you should never give out your information to a sketchy website, but they didn't know any better. They started with a small wish as a test, a new Xbox. They hit enter, and the screen changed to a simple line of green text. Your wish is my command. Then the website kicked him back to the landing page. Nothing happened for a few days, so he figured it must be bogus, until he got home and found a package waiting for him at the front door. No name, no return markings. He quickly grabbed it and ran upstairs so that his parents wouldn't see, and sure enough, inside was a brand new Xbox. Overjoyed that it worked, he told his friend at school, and they didn't believe him, and so they said to wish for something bigger to prove that it was real. He went home and entered a new wish, for 2 of his old friends from his last school in another state to come visit. The screen said, your wish is my command. Later that night, he heard his parents talking about a car crash on the weekend, where a father died bringing home some presents for his kids, and some of the items were missing. A few days later, there was another package on his front step when he got home from school, but this time, it was bigger and heavier. He dragged it inside and up the stairs, and when he opened it in his room, it filled with an ungodly stench, and when he got the nerve to look inside, he saw the faces of his 2 friends staring back at him, their heads neatly wrapped inside the box. In hysterics and not knowing what to do, he frantically called for his parents, and when they saw what was in the box, they assumed he had something to do with it, and they went to call the police. He frantically went back to the website and wished for his parents to keep quiet about it. Your wish is my command. Almost as soon as he hit enter, he heard the sound of glass breaking and 2 thuds. He went downstairs and saw his parents lying on the ground, dead from bullet wounds. He was was arrested and stuck to his story, which landed him in a hospital for the rest of his life. Telling the story is a warning to anyone who would listen. Be careful what you wish for, I guess. Number 7. Send again. Another tale of an illegal purchase gone wrong. Someone who obviously remained anonymous online told the story of how they wanted to buy some party-enhancing substances from the dark web. They found someone on the black market who came highly recommended. What, is there a Yelp for these guys or something? He gave the seller the info for his family cottage, where he was going to secretly take his friends for a getaway party weekend. But when he got there was no package to be found. Figuring that the dealer tried to cheat him, he messaged saying that he never got the goods. Surprisingly, the seller responded, apologizing, and said that he would send more this week. So they rescheduled to have another party the next week. But when it rolled around, the same thing happened. So he messaged again, thinking this person just took the money and ran. But to his surprise, they said they would send twice as much to make up for it, all for free, which our party planner was skeptical to believe. When he got to his cottage the next weekend, there was no package waiting for him, but he did overhear his neighbors talking with someone over the fence. When he took a peek over, he saw his elderly neighbors giving a report to the police. They had been receiving box after box of illegal substances with no postmarkings, and they felt unsafe. Our party planner kicked himself. He wasn't getting cheated, he just entered the wrong address. So I guess there can be honor among criminals after all. Number 6. Willing victim. Now this one actually is a true story. In 2001, a German engineer named Bernd Brandis answered an ad on a dark web forum for people with a fetish for eating other people. Absolutely horrifying that these people exist, but he answered a post looking for a willing participant, wanting to be eaten. He met with Armin Mewvis, and they proceeded to videotape 4 hours of the two of them discussing what to do, and then they shared a meal made from Burns's reproductive organ. After which, Armin allowed him to go upstairs and take a bath, where he bled out until he was almost unconscious. Armin then stabbed him once, killing Bernd, and then he cooked and ate various parts of him over the next few days. He was arrested and jailed for his crimes, but since everyone involved was completely willing participants, he only received 8 years and 6 months in prison. He is now a vegetarian. Number 5. Red rooms. Red rooms are an urban legend that have been around as long as the dark web has. They are allegedly a place where disgusting people could watch horrible things happen to someone in the room and pay to decide what happens next. And obviously the room is red to denote what will happen in there. There are true horror stories of people browsing the dark web, stumbling into these places and seeing unforgettable things and never accessing the dark web again. There have been a few instances where people were caught and jailed for operating these things, and I won't give their names because that will simply give them more notoriety. But some have been caught after torturing and eventually killing up to 30 people, all at the request of people donating massive amounts of money. And if you ask me, those people are just as evil as the scum who would do this to another human being. Number 4. Light web. Okay, I need to talk about something light and fun after all that before we get to our top 3. While yes, a lot of the activity on the dark web is illegal and dark, as the name would suggest, there are sometimes wholesome moments from anonymous folk. On the same black market where you can find hitmen and illegal substances, some users have found more innocuous sellers. A German man who only sells soft pretzels, for instance. I guess they're so good he needs to sell them secretly. Or an auction for Bill Clinton's old saxophone, or my personal favorite, a Reddit user who didn't quite get what he asked for. The user bought a mind-blowing experience from someone on the black market. There was no explanation as to what it would be, but he purchased it anyway. When he got the package, he didn't know what to expect, but when he opened it, he didn't find a severed head or pills, but a used dustbuster. He commented that even though it wasn't what he expected, he wasn't disappointed, and busts dust with ease on the daily. Number 3. One-word story. Okay, back to the spooky stuff. This story was posted by a user named Anthony. He liked to play a game called One Word Story, where each player puts out one word at a time, and once someone says period, the sentence is over and read back aloud. He found a link to a site on the dark web for real players, promising an experience like no other. He played with a few large groups of people, but still the stories weren't good enough for him. Just before logging off for the night, he saw a private chat room in the horror section that only had one person in it. He clicked in, but it was locked with a password. Suddenly, the power in their apartment went out, only for a few seconds, and when the computer booted back up, it was still on the website. But now the chat room was open. He joined, and the other user began the game immediately with I, bold, because this can lead to some embarrassing sentences for the person to read. Anthony responded with C. They sent back you. He said through, and then your came back. And looking around his room, Anthony noticed his window letting in a breeze, so he said window. The user typed period. He read the sentence back aloud. I see you through your window. Haha, very funny. Clearly this person had played before and wanted to creep him out. They continued playing, swapping words back and forth until more sentences were made, but it seems the other user had a story planned the whole time. They traded words. "You are not safe." This sent shivers down his spine. The next sentence became, "I am coming for you." There was a chat window next to the game screen, and Anthony told the other player to cut it out or he would leave the game. They replied with, "Look out your window." As he did, he saw a figure dressed in black, standing near a lamppost. Then, the lights went off in his apartment again. When they came back on, the figure was gone. Anthony looked back at the computer and one word was on the game screen: "I." Tentatively, he responded, "Am," and then one more appeared that made him cover his mouth to keep from screaming. It said, "Here. I am here." He heard a loud pop, and suddenly there was a hole in his computer screen. In the center was a bullet, lodged into the monitor. It must have come from behind him. He ran upstairs and hid in his closet under his dirty clothes. He heard his front door open and footsteps walking through the house. He even saw their boots walking in the bedroom from under his closet door. He stayed there all night, even after they left, searching what seemed like the whole house. The next morning, he returned to his computer, and in the part of the screen that wasn't destroyed, the chat window was visible, with one word: rematch. Number 2. Mariana's Web. Mariana's Web is allegedly the darkest, most secret, and hardest to access part of the dark web. It gets its name from the Marianas Trench. No, not my favorite band, the deepest place in the ocean. Supposedly, this is where you can find the darkest secrets humanity has ever had, from the Vatican secret archives to the location of Atlantis to databases of the world's intelligence organizations. Some even believe that there is an all-powerful AI running it. Many people have come forward saying they have decrypted data packages from Mariana's Web, but it's all been debunked. And what was proven to be real information was already available elsewhere. It is supposedly only accessible through quantum computers, which are super cool, but I don't have time to get into that right now. Either way, getting there isn't easy, and it's not meant to be, if it even exists. I don't think that I'd want all of humanity's secrets out there for anyone with a VPN to access, so let's hope it is just an urban legend. Number 1. Scavenger hunt. This story starts with Trevor visiting the dark web to buy a mystery box from the black market, something he'd done before. Nothing illegal, just interesting, useless stuff usually showed up. But this time he bought from a different seller, who offered ones for 18th birthdays. A few days later, he got it, and the box strangely had instructions. It said that he was about to be set out on a birthday treasure hunt, and had to burn all of the letters once they'd been read or solved. Fun game, he thought, and I personally do love a scavenger hunt. The note was signed by Pete, his childhood best friend whom he'd not seen in years. Maybe he was the one who sent the box, or the seller contacted him to make it more personalized. The first clue was a piece of paper that said Van Mace. After staring at it for a few minutes, he realized it was an anagram for man cave, what he and Pete had called Pete's basement growing up. He burned the note, sure that he had solved the clue, and drove to his old friend's house. Using the spare key he still had, he entered the back door leading into the basement and saw the next clue: an ace of spades and a picture, stabbed into the wall with a folding pocket knife. He pulled the knife from the wall and examined the picture. It was another place he and Pete would go when they were younger, a clearing in a forested area behind their old school, not too far away. He burned the picture and the ace of spades, keeping it in mind for later. When he arrived at the clearing, there was a shovel sticking out of the ground near a fresh mound of dirt. Ah, spade. Very clever. He started digging through the dirt, and not long later he hit something solid. He kneeled down and brushed away the dirt to look for his next clue, but instead he saw the face of Pete. He was buried in a shallow grave, and there was blood on his shirt where he had been stabbed repeatedly. In shock and devastated by the loss of his friend, he called the police and told them he'd found a body and to please hurry. As soon as he hung up, he realized that he had burned every note with the instructions, that his fingerprints would be all over Pete's basement and the key he used to get in, and that the knife that was undoubtedly used on Pete was in his pocket, and he was holding the shovel that was used to bury him. Somebody had set him up, and who would ever believe a story as crazy as this?
Number 10. House creep. Are you in the market for a new house? Maybe you and your significant other are looking to upgrade, right? We'd love to see it. Nice. I applaud the changes coming your way. You've earned it. Now, depending which website you pick, you may be stuck living in an otherwise haunted house. I'm not talking about haunted, oh it's old, some doors creak. I'm talking horrible, horrible things have unfolded here under that same roof. Houses where people have passed away. You know, I'll say that. You know what I'm trying to say here. Houses that have been used in some sort of illegal substance operation as well. Again, trying to say what, you know what I'm saying here. It's really up to you. All the categories are right there in front of you. All you have to do is head to housecreep.com and you'll see every option, every dark, horrible option. The website is eerie because obviously it's, it's contents, but it looks like a normal 2022 holiday booking website. It's too casual, you know what I mean? It's gross. I'll be the Hotel Trivago guy, but for this website. Do those weird dances that he does. He's always like, hey, 50% off, haunted houses. Number 9, your last day. I remember when I was in college one day, I was walking to class and this crazy dude yelled at me and he said I was gonna die in 3 years. So that's really awesome. Now, I've since proven that man and his fingerless gloves wrong, but it did have me thinking for those 3 years, right? Now, what if? What if a website did that for you? Not that strange man on the side of the road there. What if a website allowed you, yeah, you, to input your information, to input your name, birthday, weight, height, all that good stuff, Libra, check, let's do this. Now, if you input all that information, you tell deathdate.com what you're working with, and this site should tell you exactly when you'll die. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I'm kind of too afraid. Should I do it? I don't know. If we do a part 2, then I'll do it. I'll start off by telling you how that website told me I was gonna die. I'll do it. Number 8, simulation argument. Okay, this one's pretty short and sweet. If you can't sleep at night and maybe you need something to read, something around 8 minutes long to, soothe your mind, well, head over to simulationargument.com. That's a good start, I'd say. Any questions you have about simulation theory, be it references in the past, both by philosophers or scientists or even in media, it's almost like a PDF file. Everything you need is right here. No photos, just links and explanations in an orderly fashion. Yeah, here's a blurb from the file. It reads, certainly some modifications are necessary once we admit the possibility of an infinite universe that may contain infinitely many simulated and non-simulated people. In this case, the ratio of simulated people to that total number of people is not defined. Awesome, so we may or may not be real. Who knows? Hit that thumbs up if you think I'm real. I promise I am, maybe. Number 7, pointer. So I've never laughed so hard in my life like 2 hours ago. I have to include this because it's actually really creepy when you really think about it. But at the same time, it's one of those things you can't help but love. Pointer.com. Okay, you move your cursor anywhere on the screen and then just let go. And then 1 second later, a photo from anywhere, somewhere from the internet will appear. Now this photo will have somebody pointing directly where you left your pointer on screen. Yeah, you move it a little bit and it finds a new photo instantly of somebody pointing at what appears to be your pointer again. Where do these photos come from? Who are these people? I have no idea. Couldn't tell you, but it's hilarious. It's like people at dinner with their family, but then one guy's in the background pointing. So now it's just there in front of your face. It's so odd. It feels illegal, honestly. If there's one point that really nails it in this list, this one feels illegal, feels very illegal. Number 6, world births and other stuff. Here's a website that looks like the stock market at first, okay? One side is green and it's very active, it's running, it's moving around. And the other side of the screen is red. And it's also, of course, quite active. Not as active, but still up and running. The background is a world map and it updates every single second, showing each and every new birth on this side. It's fast. I sat at my computer at lunch and I just watched thousands of people being born. I was like, congratulations, congratulations. Wow, this is amazing, this is fascinating. Now, of course, the other side is the complete opposite, as you could tell. Hence the dark website theme going on in this list. The right side is every death all over the world, instantly. Yeah, refreshing every second. It's so creepy. You're sitting there on your iPad feeling like the watcher of the universe. You're like, ooh. Yeah, a lot of births. It's like this. It's like, a lot of people being born more than people are dying, so pick it up. Number 5, Diana House. Right off the bat, this next one here is fiction, okay? I'll say that. But it doesn't take away the fact that you can just visit this site and get sucked down this unique rabbit hole. We've all been stuck on Reddit for hours on end, be it videos or discussions, whatever. Am I the asshole? This changes it up a bit if you're looking for something new and otherwise creepy. The tale of the Diana House takes you on this adventure. It's about 2 men, Mark and Eric, who learned that an old friend they both knew, they killed 2 people, then they ended their own life. Again, it's dark, but also again, it's fiction, I'll remind you. So Mark becomes obsessed with figuring out what went wrong and why their friend did this, yada yada yada. And the Diana House is this website that you can visit and it shows his string of emails to Eric while he searches for answers. And of course, the way it ends is unique and will leave you sleepless. No spoilers, it's a great time, go for it if you want. It reminds me of when the internet was new and these creepy sites were actually terrifying. Like Peter's Answers or whatever, where you like type in a question, but at the same time you're typing in the answer, and then your friends think that an AI is telling you the. Oh, it's so creepy. Should have put that one in. That one sucked. Number 4, Last words. Whew, okay. Again, these titles kind of give away the goods right off the bat. True crime is sweeping the nation. It seems like people are leaning into this now more than ever. You can learn how to draw on eyebrows while listening to a disappearance from 46 years ago. You know what I mean? It's so bizarre. I love it. Olivia and I are fans. We listen to all of our true crime podcasts every morning. We're like making coffee, listening. We're like, oh, that's good. That's really good. It's the best. The Texas Department of Criminal Justice has a list of all its past offenders, as well as all their information and offenses. And most jarring, the website includes their last words. Yeah, it's one of those things you want to see, but you're not quite sure why. You're like, this is dark. This is like some other level. I can't even relate to this shit. Hopefully. That'd be kind of weird if I could. Number 3, summoning demons. Cool. Am I standing in my salt circle for this one? Here we go. We're good. Yeah, depending on your beliefs, this next one will either freak you out or intrigue you. It's kind of weird. How to summon demons. Okay, all you gotta do is head to Angel Fire, or don't. Completely up to you. Let's say don't head there. How's that? There you go. This website is completely legal. They just argue why demons are real, and they also include a fun little charity donation button. You know, in case you summon a demon and want to come back and leave a 5-star review. Hey, thanks so much. Here's 10 bucks. Thanks for Balthazar. We're gonna go clean my foyer. There's also access to other groups that practice Satanism. So if you want to make some new friends, maybe Tinder is not working out, here you go. I'm sure you'll find lots in common with other Satanists on board. I personally think this stuff is hilarious. I don't know. Because I grew up with barely any access to any online textbooks for school that I needed. You know what I mean? Now we have a neatly organized Satan site. Get out of here. Number 2, WikiLeaks. Some good history around this one, gotta include it. In Stockholm, buried around 100 feet below street level, is an old nuclear bunker. Now today, it's a facility owned by Swedish internet provider Bahnhof. This is where they keep servers up and running for WikiLeaks. Yeah, we all know WikiLeaks, right? We use it for, you know, those movies we don't want to pay for. Oh shit, I'm going to jail, hang on. I'm like, oh, the cops are here, I just got arrested, it's crazy. Julian Assange, frontrunner for this whole operation. His hard drive is in said bunker, behind a 2-foot steel door, accompanied by numerous backup generators. So yeah, no one's touching that, I guess. No one's touching his Angry Birds high score that's locked away forever. In October 2010, WikiLeaks actually published Army field reports from 2004. Now, one of the biggest leaks in US history, this report confirmed that there were over 66,000 civilian deaths in the Iraqi war logs, out of the 109,000 in total. Now, this leak also suggested that some American troops were classifying civilians as enemies in their statistics. Yeah, this is some pretty crazy news, right? These numbers were from 2004 to 2009, so a lot of history we're missing there. So yeah, sometimes these sites bring out some good knowledge, you know, aside from demon speed dating. Sometimes you gotta hear the dirty stuff too. And finally, number 1, the scary maze game. I have to end this video on a good note, you know, so we can sleep a little bit. This one is pretty amazing. You can change somebody's life with this last website if you send it at the right time in their, you know, youth. The scary maze game. The first time you hear about this, you don't hear that word scary, do you? You just hear maze game. I played this for the first time on like a Windows 97. It took 18 minutes to load up too. I was so determined to get through this maze. I had the chair up nice and close. It was right close to the screen. The brightness was on 100%, contrast was low. It was right there. I had it in the bag. I was so close to the end, and then that face popped up. I never forgave my brother. That was it. Family beef was ignited. There we go. Have you ever sent the scary maze game to someone? If so, how did they react? You know, or any of these other websites. Send them these ones too. See how they react. Both will probably be the same. You'll probably get a nice what the f for every link that you send them.
In at number 10, with the possible missing persons case. I mean, what? MindCTV bought one of these boxes for $300 on the dark web, and I bet they had instant regret. The two of them were putting on some gloves, and they cautiously looked through the box. They found a child's backpack that was full of old clothes, a teddy bear, and also empty bottles. Seems innocent enough, right? Well, wrong. I mean, what if this was from a missing persons case? I have a theory. What if people from the dark web are sending actual evidence from a murder or a crime, and YouTubers are paying for these boxes and contaminating the evidence? The dark web users are probably having a good laugh while watching these videos. Okay, moving on, Biohazard comes onto this list on number 9. In this next video, you're about to see Alex Miner open up his second mystery box. I literally don't know what compels people to buy a second mystery box, but here we go. I can't tell you guys what that is, but I can tell you what you should do with this. You should throw that right out the window and never go on the dark web ever again. Seriously, what the heck were you thinking? White mysterious powder and a biohazard sticker is never a good sign. Stop, and I forgot to mention that he also found a note with Morse code that actually turned out to be a warning telling him to wear gloves. And it's a good thing that he did, because we still don't know what the white powder is. This next clip is at number 8, and this clip comes from Name Brand on YouTube. And he is no stranger to dark web mystery boxes. In his first ever dark web mystery box, he opened up a container that had human feces inside of it, and somehow this didn't stop him from buying a couple more mystery boxes and uploading the whole thing onto YouTube. So let's take a look at what kind of trouble he's gotten himself into when he opened up his last mystery box. I don't understand why he was sticking his hands inside of a jar without looking in it before. What if there was some needles inside or something worse? So that first container was full of urine, and the second container had used toilet paper. I mean, what the heck? He also got a stuffed animal, but he was reluctant to cut it open to see what was lurking inside because others have found human teeth and hair. I think I can safely say that I would probably never buy a mystery box ever in my lifetime. I'd rather spend my money on Pokemon cards. And yeah, I may or may not be still buying them. Creeping onto this list, number 7, we have a really big dark web mystery box. This video comes from a YouTuber known as Hype Mike, who was very surprised when he received his dark web box. I don't know about you guys, but there is no way in hell that I would open up that huge box. I mean, no thanks, not for me. Well, as it turns out, instead of this mysterious package, he found a diebuck box sealed in red wax. For those of you guys who don't know, these boxes are said to have a demon inside of them, and if you open it, they'll possess your soul. I'd definitely throw that box into the trash, maybe burn it on fire, leave no evidence. Aside from the demon box, they also found a child's car seat with a lot of blood on it, a tire, and weird messages as well. Another freaky mystery box climbs up this list at number 6. That was your warning to tape up the box and put it out on your curb for the garbage man to deal with. But of course, he didn't listen. What the hell is that? I'm not okay with this. Is this real life right now? Why is he only wearing one cheap glove? I would put on like 10 of them. Some of the other stuff that was in there was a teddy bear, gloves, a smashed phone, a creepy vial of unidentified liquid, don't want to know what's in there, and a mysterious pill. What if these boxes have a tracking system in them? If I was forced to open up one of these things, I would do it in a parking lot or something. I mean, there's no way in hell I would open up one of these mysterious boxes in my own house. I mean, that is just super dumb. Moving on to number 5, we have a gory surprise. Nothing good ever comes from the dark web. So I'm actually really confused by YouTubers who actually want to buy a full box of random stuff and have them delivered to them. Is it really worth all the views? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Our next clip comes from Jaskin Ho, who got more than he bargained for. This first creepy thing he pulls out from the box is an old stuffed animal with a really disturbing gash on its stomach, and it is covered with bloody stains. But wait, there's more. There was also a mysterious SD card and several boxes that contained things to exorcise a demon. But the most disturbing thing from this box is a bloody syringe. And the worst part is, he wasn't even wearing gloves. Scariest Nearing us, just like that, and at number 4, we have a box full of bags. Okay, there's no way in hell you would see me opening up this box, especially after doing the research for this video, but if I was forced to open one up, I definitely would wear the thickest chainmail glove ever and a gas mask, because you never know, you gotta be careful. Well, for King Random _reacts, I think he's regretting ordering his mysterious box because this is what he found. And it's time to brace yourselves. Watch this. The bag looks disgusting and there are a ton of dirty thumbtacks sticking out of it. Well, sadly, that's not all that he found. Inside of the box there was also a bone fragment, there was a gross comb with bugs on it, used condoms with maggots, and a mysterious red powder. The $1,000 dark web box comes onto this list next, and at number 3. Who in their right mind would spend $1,000 on a mystery box? Well, a YouTuber by the name of I'm J Station thought it would be a great idea. Well, let's take a closer look at what he found. Okay, if you guys thought that was bad, just wait until you see what else he found. At the bottom of the box, he found pictures that appear to have been taken from outside of his house. They show him relaxing in his house at a time when he thought he was alone. I mean, how messed up is that? I think it's time to move out like ASAP, and wherever you move to, have blinds, like permanent blinds on your window. And now at number 2, we have a monster. Stromedy ordered a dark web mystery box and needed a ladder to open it. Once he pried the top off, he found a tricycle, Apple products, and a stick. Seems pretty boring until he found a hidden compartment. What the heck is that? Sounds like some sort of demonic animal. I hope he called the police because that's some pretty messed up stuff. There's a second part to the video and he claims that there was an animal that was inside of the box, but he escaped and now he roams around his backyard at night. But of course there isn't any hard evidence, so people are saying this whole thing is one big hoax. The murder box comes onto this list at number 1. This box had a dirty pair of shoes, some rope, and a garbage bag that contained a dress that was covered with blood. Once the two guys got deeper in the box, they found Polaroids of a woman who appeared to be hanging from a tree wearing those same shoes and dress that they found. But things got even worse. They might have even found the murderer's weapon. I think now would be a great time to call the police and deactivate any traces you have to the dark web, because who knows, maybe that person will come after you next.